Okay, class. So good morning. As you can see on the screen, I have added an additional module, which is module 5, and it is about the ethical considerations in media and communication. So I have added this module since I think that it is very important that you learn the topics that will be discussed under this module, particularly in the practice of media and communication. So for Module 5, we will be discussing the following topics. And for topic 1, we will discuss about the mass communication ethics and journalistic ethics. And we will be talking about the characteristics of a virtuous journalist. So ano ba yung katangian? Parang masabi na ang isang journalist ay virtuous. And we will also study about the cardinal virtues prescribed by Plato in the Republic. And we will also talk about later on defamation, copyright and plagiarism, sedition, ethical photography, and the common cases filed against journalists. So magbibigay tayo ng mga sample cases dyan for you to avoid such errors or avoid certain crimes that can be filed against you if you wish to pursue or to become a journalist in the future. Okay, so for topic 1, mass communication ethics and journalistic ethics. So in the practice of media and communication, it is important that you observe ethics in mass communication and journalistic ethics. So if you will become a media practitioner in the future, you should observe certain ethical standards to guide you properly in the practice of your profession. So we have learned earlier that ethics serve as your guiding principle on how we should act, think, and react, specifically to people and issues around us. So it compels individuals, specifically the professionals, to decide how to live and how to conduct one's professional affairs. So if you wish to become a media practitioner in the future, you should observe these ethics, mass communication ethics and journalistic ethics. And ito yung i-discuss natin later on, mga ethics na yan. Okay, so the virtuous journalist. Okay, so ano nga ba ang tinatawag nating virtuous journalist? So sabi dyan, a virtuous journalist is the one who has respect for and tries to live by the cardinal virtues which Plato describes in the Republic. So ayan, meron palang cardinal virtues na ipininscribe si Plato, which is written in the Republic according to Merrill. So even if we admit it or not, class, kasi there are some journalists who are not as virtuous as others. So when we say virtuous, sila yung mga journalists na hindi binabayaran, nabibili, and is only after serving the truth and doing their job objectively without any personal biases or whatsoever. So ano nga bang isang virtuous journalist? So ano ba ang mga katangiang dapat niyang i-possess or i-observe? So according to Merrill nga, ayun nga yung sinasabi niyang definition ng isang virtuous journalist, yung merong respeto and tinatry niyang mag-live by dun sa cardinal virtues prescribed by Plato in the Republic. So let us go over that cardinal virtues in the next slide. So here are the 4 cardinal virtues prescribed by Plato in the Republic. One is wisdom. Second is courage. The third one is temperance, and the last one is justice. So ayan, tandaan nyo yan, class. So practice that to become a virtuous journalist. But of course, pag-usapan natin mabuti yan in the next slides. So the first cardinal virtue is wisdom. So as I have understood, wisdom is the highest or deepest form of knowledge. I don't know if you will agree with this, but this is how I understand it. Again, wisdom is the highest or deepest form of knowledge practiced with utmost ethical standards. So hindi lang porke na you have the full knowledge of something, you can masasabi natin na you are a person full of wisdom. So for you to be labeled as that, you should practice your wisdom with ethical standards and consideration. So according to Plato, wisdom makes use of and requires knowledge of forms, but its purpose is to make good judgment about the perceptible truth. Yan. So sabi dito, ang wisdom can be defined as the correct application of knowledge. It is what gives direction to moral life, and it is the rational, intellectual base for any system of ethics. So wisdom is partly natural and partly acquired from maturing, life experiences, study association, etc. Of course, yung wisdom kasi ay hindi lang naman isa ang source niyan. It could be earned from as you mature, as you grow older. Kaya nga di ba sinasabi natin, yung matatanda ay sila yung mas maraming wisdom compared to the youth. Kasi kasama yun sa process ng pagmamature. So life experiences, you gain wisdom from your life experiences, from studying and association, etc. So sabi dyan, according to Plato, wisdom makes use of and requires knowledge of forms, but its purpose is to make good judgments about the perceptible realm. So in the practice of media and communication, halimbawa if you will become a media practitioner na in the future, you should use your wisdom to seek truth and report only truthful and unbiased news. Yan. So you should always be guided by your wisdom in the practice of your profession as either as a TV reporter, radio reporter, or a newspaper contributor or writer. Yan. And the next virtue is courage. Ayan. So ginamitan ko siya ng mga images para matandaan nyo. So courage, and si commercial lang si Courage, yung teams na cartoon character na aso from CNN, the cowardly dog. Ayan. But enough of that. So ayan, courage. So according to Plato and Merrill, is needed to resist the temptation to do the wrong thing. That is deviate from the path of wisdom. So ito daw yung kailangan mo, yung lakas ng loob para maiwasan mo yung paggawa na ang mga unethical practices in your profession. In other words, courage helps a person to pursue the goal which wisdom has helped set him or for her. So as a future media practitioner, do not give in to bribery or anything that would tarnish your integrity. So be courageous enough to avoid temptations that will challenge your credibility or integrity. So alam naman natin, especially during elections, may mga politiko na gusto magpabango ng mga pangalan nila, kaya yung iba ay ginagamit yung pera nila para pabanguhin sila sa imahe through media and reports, and that is the one thing that you should avoid. You should have enough courage to avoid those instances, iwasan yung mga ganoong at huwag kayong matatakot. And if ang lagi lang dapat goal is to do your job, kasi pagka tama naman yung ginagawa ninyo is hindi naman kayo maililigaw niyan sa path na gusto niyong puntahan in your profession, particularly if you would like to become a successful journalist or TV reporter, presenter, or what. And the next cardinal virtue is temperance. So according to Plato and Merrill, temperance is the virtue which demands reasonable moderation. It helps people to avoid fanaticism in the pursuit of any objective, that is knowing where to apply the brakes, as it were. So temperance in Filipino, I know you are already know kung ano yung equivalent term nito sa Tagalog o sa Filipino, pagtitimpi. So sabi dyan, yung temperance or pagtitimpi, nakakatulong yan to avoid fanaticism. So that is knowing where to apply the brakes, as it were, or alam niyo dapat kung kailan, anong instances kailangan yung kontrolin yung inyong mga emosyon. So temperance or restraint. So we should know when to restrain ourselves in while practicing our profession. Let us say, for example, you are a TV reporter and you are assigned to cover the event of BBM or Lenny, kung sino man sa kanila. Ayan, at halimbawa kung ikaw ay panatiko ni Lenny or BBM, sino man yung sinusuportahan nyo sa kanilang dalawa, you should avoid biases in reporting. Alam ko maraming nagagalit kay Lenny, kay BBM, but in the practice of your profession, in doing your job, you should practice restraint or pagtitimpi kahit nabanas ka na kay Lenny but, o kaya kay BBM, you should deliver the news fairly and objectively and kailangang balanse lagi yung pag-present mo ng news. So, ang tendency kasi if ang isang tao ay masyadong panatiko, kay Lenny, lalong-lalo na yung mga news reporters, nangyayari to also observe this during the national elections. Parang tinutwist nila or ini-exage nila yung isang event para mapabango or makasama yung isang kandidato doon sa news na pinipresent niya. So yun, just because you hate BBM or LAN, hindi ka makapagtimpi, hindi mo ino-observe yung temperance na sinasabi dyan ni Plato. Yan. Okay, so I hope that it is clear to you. And I think this is the last virtue according to Plato, which is justice. So ayan, kukuha na ako ng poster ng Justice League para matandaan ninyo na maging tawag dito, cue ninyo kung ano ba yung isa sa mga cardinal virtue ni Plato. So justice. So according to Plato, justice is the virtue which considers a person's deservingness. So it refers more specifically to a person's social relations. So sabi dyan, all men should be treated equally, but equal treatment simply does not satisfy deservingness. So a person gets what he wants. So yan. So a typical example of this is a demolition scene in a squatter's area. So example scene is yung scene na pinapaalis na ng totoong may-ari yung mga squatters na pansamantala niyang pinatira sa kanyang lupain, and but before that they were given enough time naman to vacate the place, and they were provided alternate shelter. And yun nga, since yung iba ay matitigas yung ulo, typical na ugali ng mga Pinoy, lalo na yung mga no-offense to the squatters, andun yung simpatya ko sa kanila. But yung time na tawag dito, dumating na yung demolition time, andun pa rin sila, and nakikipag-usap naman sa kanilang mabuti yung may-ari ng lupain. So ang ginawa ng mga squatters na yun, isinaktan nila yung may-ari ng lupa na nakikipag-ayos naman ng mabuti sa kanila at inofera naman sila ng magandang option to move in some place given also by the landowner, and they were given enough time. So ang ginawa nung mga squatters ngayon, so sinaktan nila yung may-ari ng lupa. So yun. So the question is, so in this context, dun sa example na binigay ko sa inyo is sino ang biktima sa pangyayari, yung owner ba ng lupa o yung mga dito yung mga squatter. So this is what justice tells here. So all men, sabi dyan, should be treated equally, but equal treatment simply does not satisfy deservingness. So sa context na binigay ko example, hindi porke sila ay squatter, sila na lang lagi ang kawawa. So yun, kung nagets nyo yung aking example. In such cases, you should learn how to balance and frame correctly your story. So to serve justice to those who really deserve it. So that's ends our topic 1, and I hope ay naintindihan nyo yung topic na to, and we will now move on to topic 2. Okay.